and welcome back to my channel. I hope you are doing well wherever you are, and let's get straight on into the video. It's going to be the first video of a few that I'm going to film about how my experience of summer camp went, and this video is just going to go through the process of how I went from applying in December to flying out in June. What am I going to do this summer? 12 weeks of absolute nothing planned. Let's do something. I wanted to travel, and that was a given. I really just wanted to see more of the world, to go somewhere I hadn't been before. And then I thought, okay, what about Camp America? I went online, I found a few different companies that do it, and I clicked on the first one I saw, which was Camp America. I almost got to the place where I was about to pay, but then I realised that, to be honest, this is such a scary adventure for me. With all this paperwork, they weren't helping me extremely well when I was asking questions and inquiring about how the process worked. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna look elsewhere. So then I found Camp Leaders, which is who I actually flew out with, and I loved their service from the get-go. And with Camp Leaders, they literally help you from filling the forms in to getting out to America, and really responsive to all my messages. On the website it's really easy, and there's no hidden bits on Camp Leaders website. On some of the websites I found you had to email them, and then they'd get your email address and then they'd spam you and say, oh my god, like, sign up with us because we're the best paying company, you'll get the most for your money out of our company. If you literally search up Camp Leaders on Google, click on fees, and they literally explicitly tell you how much it is. So I went on there and I filled out the forms and I asked a load of questions as per usual, and then I got to the point where I had to pay. I decided to pay with flights, and then Camp Leaders were actually really understanding. When I halfway down the line I decided that I wanted to do my own flights, so then they were a bit more flexible, and there we go. Camp Leaders accepted that I changed my mind and they allowed me to do my own flights. Stage is to have a Skype interview with Camp Leaders. With this Skype interview, it wasn't even that long, to be fair, and it was really quick and easy, and the guy I did it with was really friendly, so he asked me a few questions and had a little bit of a chat about his experience as well. After the Skype interview they accept your profile, and then you can go on and fill in more steps about your kind of skill set and what you've done in the past and why you want to go to camp. Really easy to use. You set up this profile where camps can hire you from, and there are a few ways of camps hiring you. The main one is actually at camp fairs, which is how I got hired, but the other way is online. So your profile is on the website and Camp Leaders access this information and then pass it on to different camps, and then those camps can Skype interview you to hire you for the camp. I did get a few inquiries about camps online, but they didn't really suit what I was looking for. I was looking for a mixed camp with a family unit kind of vibe, and I really wanted to go to a camp kind of near New York because that was where I was wanting to travel. So when you're there it's really easy. The Camp Leaders people are there to guide you through every step. They take you through to the main hall in sections. All the camps had different ways of advertising their camp. The main way was to have a whiteboard with what they were looking for, because camps actually do hire from their state as well as overseas, sorry. To minimise you wasting your time, they put on a whiteboard what they need. So for example, you could have lifeguard, rock climbing specialist, all girls camp, and then a few different things about their camp. I think I had about 5 or 6 different interviews, and some of them I decided that I didn't want to be part of their camp because it didn't suit the camp that I was looking for. When you're choosing a camp you really need to choose wisely. You need to choose something that you know you will enjoy and choose a camp that you can connect with, the people, because the people that are running the camp are often a reflection of the people at the camp who you will be friends with, who you will be spending your whole 12 weeks with. So I had 2 main camp interviews. The first one actually wasn't the camp that I got hired by, but I'm so glad that, looking back at it, I didn't get hired by them. I really wanted to spend my summer doing something active, something that I wanted to do, because I had a passion for getting involved with the kids and teaching them a skill if they haven't already got that skill. The 2 main jobs I wanted to do were photography or lifeguarding, because I had a passion for swimming, and I also really wanted to get a tan and kind of have that High School Musical Gabriella vibe of a summer, and that is definitely what I got. Camp that I went to was honestly such a family unit, and some of the people that I still talk to are incredible friends. So the camp that I got hired at is called Incarnation Camp. It is in Connecticut, and the reason why I loved this camp was just because how down to earth the camp director was, and I just loved the vibe that he had about his camp and how passionate about his camp he was. I absolutely loved the fact that he was also one of us. We spoke about the skills that I had, and I said that I had a passion for swimming, and that's when I got hired as a lifeguard. And the best part about it was that I didn't actually have to be a lifeguard. They would give me the training at camp. They actually had green tents in the woods, and they were close to New York. It's about an hour and a half, 2 hours drive, which was really exciting because afterwards I actually went travelling there, hired by them, and the rest is a blur because it went so quick. So the next thing we needed to do was get our visas. Really straightforward. They tell you just to go through the security, which we did, and then get your paperwork out, and basically you get called up to these little booths and they ask you a few questions about what you're doing in America, and then they grant your visa, take your passport for a few days, and then send it back to you with the visa stamped inside it. The day after I finished my last exam, I flew out. It was literally meant to be. Some of the camps literally made you go in May, but if you're finishing your A-levels, it isn't really realistic to leave England halfway through May and come back in August, because you'll have exams from May till the end of June. So the day I flew out was the 8th of June, and I landed in New York, and camp leaders help you set up a hostel for the night, because then the camp actually pick you up from a hostel. With my camp, they were in Connecticut, so they actually help you get from New York, where most people can fly to easily, and then they take you to the camp. And that was an amazing step, because I wanted to make sure that I was getting the right travel and not having to go to a different country and find a taxi company that was safe. Some people did find their own Airbnbs a little bit cheaper, and it's totally up to you as long as you're in that spot the next day, which was when the camp actually picked us up on a yellow school bus, which was one of the most American things I had experienced. I went to camp and we got settled in, we had an icebreaker, and we met everybody who was going to be at camp. In my camp there was a day camp and an overnight camp, and I worked as part of the overnight camp, and I was really excited to get settled in. So we spent 2 weeks without the kids, getting lifeguard trained, orientated, and just shown around the camp and how things work, how to deal with homesick campers, and how to incorporate our culture into the American culture. We went into our tents, which was so scary but also so exciting. I'd never slept in a tent, and especially not in the middle of a forest in America. With this camp, there was trampolines in the lake. They had a massive lake with iceberg trampolines, and they had swimming lessons, which obviously as a lifeguard I was looking forward to, and then they had basketball courts, football courts, and also a pottery shed and an art barn and a outdoor go ape type course. Then the kids arrived and it was so exciting to meet all of them. As I was a specialist, a lifeguard, I had to teach a lot of lessons a day, so we actually didn't sleep with the kids in our tent. But if you're a general counsellor, you would have slept in a tent with up to 6 campers, and there would be 2 camp counsellors with you, so you and one other. Every day we got up, had breakfast, which was really interesting to see what Americans eat for breakfast, because some of the things that they eat for breakfast I definitely wouldn't have thought about eating for breakfast. And then we got into a few activities of the day. So I taught about 6 lessons a day, and there were 2 free periods where we'd get a break, and it was really exciting just to get involved in the camp scene and be able to teach so many little kids how to swim, because some of them couldn't at all. So we had different ranks. We had turtles, dolphins, and we had sharks, and turtles didn't know how to swim or really struggled. And to see the turtles evolve into the dolphins and then into the sharks was so exciting, because that is just something that is really rewarding, to see your skill help a little kid, and their faces were honestly the best thing. Some of the kids I'm seriously going to miss. Really enjoyed going to camp. I met so many people, and I was able to have a lifetime adventure. This is something that I'd never be able to replace. So we did about 8 weeks of camp, and during those 8 weeks you could go wherever you wanted on your days off. Some of them would be planned with the camp, and some of them would be you can go and do what you want to, or it could be a bit of both. Something would be going on and you can also choose to do your own thing. So when the 8 weeks ended, it was so emotional. Literally every kid was so sad to leave, and that's how you can tell that that is a family unit of a camp, when all the kids just want to stay with each other. So then me and 2 friends from camp actually spent a week travelling. I think we went to Boston and Washington, and then we went back to New York, and then my family flew out and we spent a couple of weeks in New York doing all the main attractions. I would definitely recommend doing a camp experience if you are leaving college and you have the time to. It is such an experience of a lifetime. You get to spend 12 weeks in the sunshine, well, depending where you are. I got a massive tan, and I didn't realise until looking back at the photos now that I was so tanned. I learned so much about the American culture, and I got to travel to America, which is something I wouldn't have done that year unless it was for camp. I went to over 5 states, and it was just incredible to see how the culture is over there. So that is my overall camp experience. I'm going to do a few more videos about camp and how it works, but I thought I'd just round up my kind of experience as much as I could in a short video. So I hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to like and subscribe this video, and I will answer any questions that you have about camp in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I will see you next time.